I think the last few months have taught me a lot of things about who I am and where I want to go and what I want to be. And when things happen in your life and you have to pivot and you have to change, uh, there's a lot of questions that you have to ask yourself, and you have to look in the mirror and also take a time to pause. And when I first got laid off, that was the first thing that I did was like I just reset. I took January and just didn't do anything. Tried to figure out ways that I could slow down. I watched every episode of Peaky Blinders. Really loved the story and loved the ability to just shut off for the first time in a very long time. And what I think what it did is it allowed me to really think about what was the path. And I had the book coming out in February. I had an idea of who I could reach out to potentially start thinking about getting a videography business off the ground in a more full-time fashion. But those things had to kind of manifest itself in a slow time. It wasn't like something where I had to just start go go go. I mean, there were aspects of what I was doing where I was kind of go go go. I was putting myself back out to my network, but I was also trying to figure out ways that I could just find some time for me. And knowing that the book was coming in February and that I could really focus on honing the skill and honing my story about how I wanted to talk about this book in a marketing fashion, and how I wanted to talk about the story when I'm meeting people out and letting them know what the book was about. I don't think I could have done that without, taking some time to accept my fate of like what had happened to me in early December. When I look back at that winter we had a lot of snow, 30 inches of snow. But I just remember really doing small things every single day to see if I wanted to push the book this way, to reach out to somebody here, to set up a podcast, to just be like, go find some things to do. And that was one of the most important parts of this whole journey. And for me, it's been really rewarding to kind of see some of the things come to light that I always knew that I could potentially do. I'm still a long way from where, I want this book to be. I'm still a long way from what I want my videography business to become. But I think taking the right steps is always the first move. What is it? The first step is always the most important one. And that is, I think that's so true. So a lot of people will kind of be like, oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to write a book. Like, how did you do it? Well, really, you just got to take those small steps, man, and just go after it and go and find out when you need to pause, find out when you need to push forward. All of it will kind of come into play at some point in your life. So, this is a long-winded way of saying that, small wins will happen, small losses, big losses will occur, but you have to continue to push forward. And I think that's what I wanted to write about with Level Par, and I hope that is what you all take out of the story as well too. Is that there are situations in life, there are times that you want to quit, but you just can't because you have to have a responsibility to yourself. It's not about other people at any point. Have a responsibility to yourself to say, this is what I want to do. This is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to show up for myself and for other people. Every single day. And that was something that I was bad at for a long time, even up until like my last job. I didn't show up the way that I needed to show up. And that was on me. That was a responsibility that I had to take. That was a responsibility that I have to own and understand that there are probably a million different things I could have done differently. But I know that I have a book. I know that I have a purpose. I know what my why is. I want to help people tell their stories. I want to help tell my story. And that is why I do what I do. So I want to thank you all for continuing to watch, continue to support, and we'll talk to you soon.